Welcome back, everybody, to the Philadelphia Eagles franchise here on Madden 22. Today, the Birds are headed out to a rainy MetLife Field here in East Rutherford, New Jersey, as they're going to take on an NFC East rival, the 2-1 New York Giants, led by second-year quarterback Anthony Cortez III. These two teams have already played against each other this season. Just a couple of weeks ago, that game was won by the Giants, so Philadelphia is definitely looking for their revenge. The storyline for us through the first 3 games of the season has been the defense. Our defense has been absolutely god-awful. We played a little bit better in the game against Washington, but the defense was spotty late in that game, and through our first 2 matchups, the defense was playing really badly. So obviously we've got to get some stuff clicking on that side of the ball before it becomes a real problem. We do have a prospect profile today, our first of the year, where we're going to take a look at the quarterbacks in the draft class, which is fitting because we actually have a press conference asking us about our quarterback, Xander Vanderwall. And the question is, who is to blame for our struggles so far? And as I alluded to earlier, I definitely feel like it's the defense. Xander Vanderwall hasn't been perfect, but I do feel like he's been solid enough through his first 3 games with the team. From the comments I've read, it seems like you guys are pretty mixed on Vanderwall so far, which I understand. Vanderwall has been very inconsistent at times. He has stretches where he doesn't miss a throw, and he has stretches where he goes 2 for 7. He also hasn't proven to be a winner yet. In each of the first 3 games, we've had opportunities to get game-winning drives, and he was only successful once. But despite that, the eye test shows that he's been pretty good so far. He did fumble it 3 times last week, which is not ideal. But I think he's thrown the ball well. He hasn't been perfect. He hasn't looked like a superstar, but we knew when getting him, he's not a superstar. He's just a good player. And I think as he continues to mesh with the receivers and continue to get some chemistry with the offense, I think he's going to play better and better. Let's take a look at this quarterback class here. It's a talented group of guys. There's not as many players projected to go in the first round as, say, last year's draft, but it's a very deep QB group. The top projected quarterback currently is Drake Nelson out of Alabama. Put it simply, when the ball is in this young man's hands, look out. Scouts have gotten Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray type of vibes with him. I think he does have an NFL-level arm added with what he can do as a runner. Drake Nelson is currently the early favorite for the Heisman Trophy, and is just one of the most exciting players to watch in the entire country. This is somebody who can break off a big run on any given play, but can also launch a 55-yard bomb with beauty. He needs to work a little bit on his consistency, but I think if he can continue to get smarter, make better reads, he could be very solid. The other quarterback who I think is a surefire first-rounder as of now is Crawford Shawcross out of Wisconsin. Shawcross sat under Xander Vanderwall for a year at Wisconsin, and since then has been the starter for the Badgers for the past 3 seasons. And to be honest, I think he's a better prospect than Xander Vanderwall was back in the Season 1 draft. Obviously, Vanderwall was picked 10th overall by the Steelers. 2 years later, he was traded to our team. But I think Shawcross has a better arm than Vanderwall. Shawcross isn't necessarily the athlete, and his accuracy is still a little bit inconsistent, but he's got a beautiful deep ball, one of the strongest arms in this year's class, and if you prefer a more traditional quarterback who does have good athleticism, then I could see Crawford Shawcross being QB1 on most teams' boards. From there, we look at Norman Collier out of Oklahoma, who I would say is currently a fringe first-rounder as of now. Norman Collier is a very talented player in his own right. He has adequate athleticism and has a solid arm. He doesn't have a great deep ball, but anything within 25 yards, he's going to make the throw 9 times out of 10. And I think if you can get someone with his consistency, is certainly a big deal. He's a great improviser. He knows how to read defenses. He knows how to get to his second read. He's great at evading pressure, and he knows when to get rid of it, which I think is a very big deal. Oklahoma does have a great offensive line, so I think seeing him with a lesser offensive line may factor different results, but we'll see. Keontae Shalaby II from USC is a very interesting player. This kid is also a phenomenal, dynamic athlete. He's not quite the athlete that Drake Nelson is from Alabama, but he's pretty close in his own right. He doesn't have the greatest of arms, though, and scouts are concerned, does he have an NFL arm? I think regardless, he does have a good future at the quarterback position just because he's so explosive, and he is accurate enough. His arm strength isn't the greatest. Anything past 25 yards, you might as well just not even try with him. But with his athleticism and his potential, he could be very intriguing, and I could see a team taking a shot on him on day 2. Tyler Elliott out of Texas Tech is currently the 5th projected quarterback in this class, but I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't think he's going to be the 5th quarterback off the board. I think he's a little bit too good for that. Elliott, in my opinion, arguably has the best arm in the class. This is somebody who has an absolute cannon, super accurate. He's not as great of an athlete as some of the guys above him, but if you want someone who can be a consistent and reliable pocket passer, who can stretch the field vertically, that's what Tyler Elliott can be. Elliott hails from Australia, recently moved to the States. He sat behind Texas Tech quarterback Jamani and Jason for a few years. Jason ended up getting drafted last year. Elliott won the starting QB battle at Texas Tech, and since then he has really seen his stock go up. From there, we look at some more possible day 2 guys, Jacob King, Brahim Yoder, who is the older brother of Metropolis quarterback Ibrahim Yoder. But for one who really intrigues me is TCU's left-handed quarterback Lance Brooks. Brooks is a very interesting background. He got drafted into the MLB by the New York Mets, so he already has that baseball background, which is a big deal. We've seen quarterbacks like Jameis Winston and Kyler Murray, also baseball guys who got drafted very highly. Brooks is also a super smart kid as well, and that's going to go a long way inside the classroom and in the film room. He's somebody who knows the game well. He can read defenses, and although he doesn't have the physical upside to be really good, I think his background and his smarts really propel him into being a good player. He started the year at Texas Tech, ironically, and lost the starting quarterback battle to Tyler Elliott, who we just talked about earlier. He ended up transferring to TCU, and he has been as good as Tyler Elliott this season. From there, we're going to start to breeze through the day 3 guys. I think Jeremy Lynch has a really solid arm. James Jowski from Holy Cross as well. He's an interesting athlete. I don't know if he has an NFL caliber arm, but he has the explosiveness to be a very interesting player. So there you go. Let me know what quarterbacks you like down below in the comment section. Certainly a talented group, and I'm excited to see where those guys end up. So now going back to our game today against the Giants, as we talked about earlier, it's going to be a rainy one, and I think this actually goes well to our advantage. I want to continue to focus on running the ball because that's what our offense has been about since really the start of this series. And that also means the Giants might have some trouble throwing the football, which is good because 2 weeks ago, Anthony Cortez III absolutely torched us. He incompleted, 2 of his passes? I mean, he was so efficient, he was so dominant, and we just couldn't stop him whatsoever. The Giants are probably going to lean to run the ball more, which isn't ideal because they have Saquon Barkley, but they will be without their left tackle Tyron Smith, which does bode well for us. Hopefully Jabari Altuve can have a field day on the backup left tackle because I think that would certainly open a lot of things up for the defense. I still want to focus on stopping the pass because, well, we didn't when we played them 2 weeks ago. And then on offense, obviously, run the damn ball. Pretty simple. So this is a very important game for us. There aren't many truly important games here in the first 4 weeks of the season, but I think this is one of them. Not just because it's a divisional game, but it's really a big opportunity for this team to make a statement. After the defense got absolutely humiliated 2 weeks ago by the New York Giants, they had the chance to really prepare for this game and show that that was just a fluke performance and that this defense is actually pretty good. In that Week 2 game, the Giants scored every single time they touched the ball. Most of the time, they ended up scoring a touchdown. That was by far the worst defensive performance of this entire franchise series so far. So the defensive side of the ball really has a lot to prove today. So we'll see what they can do here against one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. We're not going to waste any more time. We're going to hop right into it as Sean McVay leads his team. Of course, McVay was our offensive coordinator last season before taking the Giants' head coaching vacancy. So New York opens with the football. Anthony Cortez, he connects with Saquon Barkley, who is hit hard by Nehemiah Richardson. Still a good first down gain. So far, so good for the Giants offense. They're moving the ball down the field pretty efficiently. 2nd and 10, play action fake. Cortez looks to throw it under pressure. He is sacked. Josh Uche is the one who gets to the quarterback, but unfortunately, it's not all good news. Jabari Altuve hurt on the play. He suffered a quadricep strain. Not a serious injury, but his day will be done. So we do not get to see Jabari Altuve feast on the backup tackle. 3rd and 20, short throw for Ingram, who's out of bounds. So the Eagles forced a punt. They did not do that once when these two teams played 2 weeks ago, so already the defense is making progress. Now it's time for the offense to show what they can do as Tykeem Keon makes a nice reception to the 34-yard line. Keon and Vanderwall have certainly developed a pretty good chemistry so far, and Tykeem Keon's gotten off to a nice start to the season. On first down, the rookie JT DeMarco is left wide open. He brings it to the 44, but unfortunately, there's another injury for the Eagles. This time it's Landon Dickerson, who would suffer an abdominal strain. He will likely be done for the day. So now the Eagles are without 2 starting linemen, as on 3rd and 10, it's DeMarco again with the first down before getting pounded by Jabril Peppers, the Michigan defensive back, hitting the Ohio State wide receiver very hard. Pretty fitting. But nonetheless, the Eagles do get to move the chains. There's Devontae Smith now, who brings it to the 5. Smith, of course, is in a contract year, and I think it's fair to say he's going to get a big chunk of change from hopefully the Eagles this offseason. 1st and goal, it's a fumble! Tazewell Hubbard lost it on the goal line, and it's picked up by Levante David. The former first-round pick, Nigel Combs, was the one who forced it out, and New York forces a turnover. Or so we think. The booth will review the play, and as you can see, it looks like Tazewell's butt hits the ground while he has possession of the football. So this play will be reversed. A massive break for Philadelphia, and they get to keep the ball on the goal line. 2nd and goal from the 1. Looking to punch it back in. It's Rosemont St. Clair who dives in for a score. St. Clair has been a touchdown machine so far this season, and the Eagles will now lead 7-0. Pretty good start here through the first quarter for Philadelphia. The offense had a nice drive, and the defense has been, well, pretty good. So now New York has it back on offense. Handoff for Saquon Barkley, who breaks a tackle, jukes away from the defender, and gets about 12. Saquon Barkley ran wild when these two teams played 2 weeks ago. Hopefully the Eagles can contain him as we conclude the first quarter. 7-0 in favor of Philadelphia. The Eagles are actually looking pretty good to open this game off. We'll see if the Giants offense can get rolling here on 2nd down as it's Barkley wide open. He brings it to about the 18-yard line. Anthony Cortez III has been efficient so far, 6 for 7, as we now have a 3rd down and goal from the 4. Cortez looking to throw it under pressure. He's going to scramble with it and gets popped in the end zone. Bobby Wagner lets the ball fly out, and it's recovered by Isaiah Simmons. The Giants fumble it on the goal line, and I think unlike the Eagles fumble earlier, this play is going to stand. Bobby Wagner with the incredible hit stick, and the rain is proving to be a factor. The ball is slipping out of these players' hands, and now Philadelphia gets it back unharmed. It remains 7-0. 3rd and 8. Vanderwall looking to throw it, and it should have been intercepted. That was a really bad throw. It seems like Devontae Smith might have mistimed the route, or Vanderwall might have mistimed the pass. I don't know, just poor execution all around. So the Giants have it back as Cortez is sacked on 1st down by Cleveland Ferrell. As bad as the defense has been so far, and it's been bad, Cleveland Ferrell, I feel like, has been a real bright spot. I want to look at this replay. He literally just ran over the left guard. I mean, that's just nasty. But as I was saying, I do really feel like Cleveland Ferrell's been the best player on the defensive side of the ball this season, which doesn't really say much, but still, impressive. 2nd and 18 now. Cortez gets it to Ingram, who in Evan Ingram fashion drops it, and he is now 6 for 9 with 69 yards.
Nice.
So that'll bring us to a 3rd and 18. Hopefully Cortez does not throw another pass today to keep the meme alive. It looks like he will pass it, unfortunately. Goes short for Barkley, who gets about 12, but that's not enough. Good hit by Nehemiah Richardson, and the Giants are forced to punt it again. Where has this defense been all year? I mean, the Eagles have played incredibly on defense so far. This is the total opposite of the game 2 weeks ago. Now Philadelphia has it back on offense as there's Dozier Baxby, the tight end of a 48. The offense, I will say, hasn't been all that impressive. I don't think the Eagles' offense has been bad, but it doesn't really feel like they've been all that good either. But now they're really starting to get some things going. Devontae Smith brings it to the 34, and Xander Vanderwall has been pretty efficient so far. 75% of his passes completed. Now from the 20, it's a jet sweep for the rookie, JT DeMarco, who has blocks, and he is going to high step into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Philadelphia Eagles will extend their lead. Looks like JT DeMarco is going to give everybody some lunch, but on that play, it was DeMarco who was feasting. And now the Eagles are going to take a 14-0 lead. Still time for the Giants to get back here in this first half, as it's going to be a play-action fake on 1st down, and Cortez is sacked. The rookie out of New Mexico, Hannibal Savage, with his first career sack. Savage is seeing some extra snaps with the Jabari Achabe injury. And I've got to say, Savage has looked pretty good so far. He's had a couple pressures today, now with a sack. As we go to a 3rd and 3, handoff for Barkley, and he does not get it. Guess who it was with the play? Cleveland Ferrell again. as the Eagles call time with about 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Giants would punt it, and the Eagles have a shot to make it a 3-score game before halftime. On first down, Vanderwall sends a strike up the middle for Rosemont St. Clair, who brings it to the 42-yard line. The time isn't really an issue, and now it is. There's like 30 seconds left. The Eagles have completely wasted the entire clock for the most part, as Devontae Smith gets it to about the 9. Eagles call their third and final timeout. The Eagles have enough time to take a play or two for the end zone, and then if not, worst comes to worst, they could take the points. First and goal. Vanderwall is incomplete for Smith, but we've got a flag. This seemed like a pretty easy one here. A defensive pass interference called against the Giants. It'll be called against James Bradbury, and that'll bring the Eagles to the 1-yard line. Donovan Krause is in at quarterback, as it looks like he's going to keep it himself for a QB keeper. Donovan Krause's first NFL snap will go for a touchdown, and the rookie out of Georgia Tech will make it a 21-0 game. Good to see the Onion getting some extra snaps as that concludes the first half. Wow is really all I could say. I don't think anybody expected the Eagles to be up by this much. The offense is continuing to play well, and the defense has pitched a shutout so far. And keep in mind, 2 weeks ago, when these same two teams played, the Giants scored every single time they touched the ball. It's wild at how quickly things can change here in the NFL, and if the Eagles can keep this shutout going in the second half, that would be really impressive. Philadelphia does open up with the football, as on 3rd and 8, Vanderwall's pass is incomplete, trying to get it to Rosemont St. Clair, so that'll force a punt. And the Giants have it back. We'll see if their offense can get anything going here in the third quarter, as on 3rd and 3, it's intercepted. C.J. Thomas goes in front of a receiver and picks off the pass. I don't even think it was that bad of a throw. The receiver looked open, but C.J. Thomas, who has, I think it's fair to say now, the best ball skills of any corner in the NFL, just snatched it right from midair. And now the Eagles have it back. Still 21-0 as Vanderwall is sacked by the former Eagle, Dalvin Tomlinson. Yes, Dalvin Tomlinson was an Eagle. It felt like a very short time, but back in Season 2, he was on the team during the second half of the season. 3rd and 14, Vanderwall backs up in the pocket, heaves up a prayer, and it's caught. It's been just that type of day here for the Giants as J.T. DeMarco shooting his shot to the 15-yard line. 2nd and 2 now from the 7. Vanderwall going to look to scramble with it. Has rushing room, and he is in for a touchdown. Xander Vanderwall trucks Jabril Peppers on his way to making this a 28-0 game, and the blowout continues. New York has it back. At this point, just trying to score. 3rd and 9. Cortez with a prayer for Mecole Hardman, and it's just overthrown. Hardman burned Nehemiah Richardson, and that could have been a touchdown had the pass not gone as far. So now Philadelphia has it back on 3rd and 4. Vanderwall's pass for St. Clair is incomplete, so the Eagles would have to punt it, and the Giants have it back. The Giants' defense has started off the third quarter pretty good. The problem is their offense has been, well, terrible. Just trying to get anything going here, and here's Saquon Barkley with a big gain of 23, putting the offense on his back, and he's literally put the Eagles' defense on his back. There were like 3 or 4 guys on top of him during that run. Good gain of 23. That'll keep the chains moving. On first down, Cortez under pressure, and he is sacked. Fletcher Cox now joins the sack parade. I feel like the Giants should be running the ball more. Saquon Barkley's been good when he's gotten the rock. The problem is they're barely giving him the rock. Obviously, at this point, they're a little bit desperate, but I feel like throughout the game, they should have prioritized for run a little bit more. 2nd and 22, there's another sack. This time it's Josh Uche who gets to the quarterback, his second of the ball game. And now that'll end the third quarter. The struggles continue for the New York Giants offense, who played even worse in that third quarter somehow, as it's now 28-0. The Eagles have been chewing some clock, have wasted a lot of time here as we have the 3rd and 2. Vanderwall's pass is incomplete. Vanderwall's not had a great second half, but it hasn't really mattered because the Eagles are up by so much. Here's the field goal team with a 37-yarder from Zebediah Phoenix, who makes the kick. Kicking is not easy today because it's so windy. Along with the rain, we have like 13-mile-an-hour winds. The Giants have it back, 3rd and 7. They choose to run the ball. Saquon Barkley loses 2, has no time to go anywhere, and is wrapped up by Isaiah Simmons, who I feel has had one of his best games as an Eagle. 4th and 9, Giants feel like they have to go for it as Cortez's pass is dropped by Kenny Golladay. Anthony Cortez obviously has not thrown the ball all that well today, but his receivers have not been doing him any favors. After chewing some more clock, the Eagles have to kick another field goal, this one from 34 yards out. Zebediah Phoenix now 2 for 2 as he adds to the lead. Philadelphia now up 34-0. So the Giants have it back here. At this point, they know they're not going to win. They're really just playing for pride, looking to avoid the shutout, as Cortez, under a ton of pressure, somehow completes it to Kenny Golladay. Okay, I'm not going to lie, that was a pretty good play. Not that it really matters in the grand scheme of things, but still, that was an awesome throw. 2nd and 10 now from the 45 with 4 minutes to go. Cortez under pressure from McAllister, and he is intercepted. Deshaun Elliott picks off the pass, and I think that will officially do it as he dives down at the 33-yard line. The Eagles would continue to chew some clock for the next 4 minutes, and that's how this game would end. 34-0 is your final. Philadelphia wins. They improve to 2-2. The Giants fall to 2-2. When these two teams played against each other 2 weeks ago, the Eagles' defense looked like a lost cause. Anthony Cortez was torching them. Saquon Barkley was running all over them. The Giants scored every time they touched the ball, and in my opinion, that was the worst defensive performance of this franchise series. Today, we saw the best defensive performance of this entire franchise series as the Eagles pitched a shutout against the Giants, who have to go back drenched into the locker room. The rain coming down even harder now as Anthony Cortez sits back and can't be feeling good about his performance today, as the Giants and Eagles are now tied with 2 wins apiece. The Giants have now lost 2 in a row, while the Eagles have won 2 in a row. Xander Vanderwall was fine, 21 of 29, 244. He wasn't great, but we didn't need him to be great. He was just efficient, he avoided mistakes, and he did everything we asked for. Anthony Cortez, on the other hand, was not so good. 10 for 23, 117, 2 interceptions, had a passer rating in the 20s. We didn't really run the ball all that well, to be honest. I feel like Tazewell Hubbard's yards per carry kind of juiced up on that last drive as we were chewing clock, but we did not run the ball particularly strongly in this game. In the receiving game, it was Devontae Smith and Rosemont St. Clair who led the way for us, and obviously the offensive lines were a tale of 2 teams. The Giants couldn't block anybody, even without Jabari Achebe, and then our offensive line was great, our secondary was great, our kicking was great, everything in this game was great, and I think we really showed our potential of what we can do, and if this defense can continue to stay consistent, I think this team has the ceiling of the Super Bowl. Xander Vanderwall certainly thrilled with how the team played, and again, even though Vanderwall didn't have to really do a whole lot, the rest of the team played really well, and we don't need Xander Vanderwall to be a superstar, we just need him to avoid mistakes and have games like he had today. As for the rain scenario, I feel like we got to give the credit to the offensive line because, I mean, they were just so good from start to finish. I thought the running backs played fine, particularly Rosemont St. Clair, more so in the receiving game, but we didn't really run the ball well. It was the pass game that was our strength, and, well, I guess we could have given credit to the running backs if we wanted to, but it doesn't really matter. So in Week 5, we played the 2-2 Carolina Panthers, who, of course, are led by Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson, who they acquired in the offseason. Both Hurts and Johnson obviously coming from our Philadelphia Eagles. And so far, Jalen Hurts has played really well for Carolina with a passer rating in the 120s. The Panthers are 2-2. They've lost 2 in a row, but it appears they've got their quarterback. Jalen Hurts has at least a 108 passer rating in each of his first 4 games, largely because of the talent around him. I mean, the Panthers have a really well-rounded roster, and they're a very good team. So we've got our hands full for Week 5 in the Jalen Hurts revenge game. It should be a lot of fun. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hope everybody enjoyed today's episode. Peace out.